Located in West Philadelphia, William Sayre High School is a relatively small school serving a little over 300 students from 9th to 12th grade. 95% of Sayre's students qualify for free and reduced lunch, but the high school is less than a mile from the University of Pennsylvania. Sayre is considered a university-assisted community school, and in partnership with the Netter Center, the university's community outreach organization, college students travel to Sayre every day to assist with instruction and organize community programming. One of those programs is the High School Voter Project, which works with a group of 4 girls at Sayre High School, teaching them about civic engagement and giving them the resources to address the issues they see in their community.
My name is Ariana Jimenez. I'm a senior at Penn studying business econ, public policy, and management. I've been working with the High School Voter Project for the last 4 years now. I started my freshman fall in 2020, right when the organization actually got founded. A big thing that we're learning is like problem solving learning and how to tackle a problem when you see one that you want to improve. And so theirs was just access to hygiene products. A lot of students don't have access to that. So we've been working with them to think of ways to get access to those and bring them to the school to share with people that need them.
I'm Donna Robinson. I'm from William Sayre. I'm a senior this year. I am involved in almost everything at the school. I don't know exactly where I'm gonna be going to college. I'm really hoping for Temple. And yeah, at the very first meeting, we talked about what project we would do. One of the options was a protest. Another one was what we're doing now is something good for the school. We decided to do a hygiene product drive, and it's taken us pretty far. We have quite a few donations already. We're hoping to get more. So we just want to get hygiene products to the people of Sayre. And that was my friend Tatiana Parks' idea.
What's your name?
Tatiana.
Where do you go to school?
William Sayre High School.
What year are you?
11th.
11th grade?
Yes.
Don't cut it out. If you also wonder why I wrote her hand is more.
No, we're just thinking woman power.
West Philly is it's a lot of people that goes through a lot of poverty. So I feel like not everybody want an extra help, and not everybody has everything. And who don't want no extra little goodie bags that you can put in your bag, you can give to your mom or something. Because sometimes you forget your stuff at home, and it's something you can always keep with you. And then some people generally don't have it. So I feel like it's also good to want to help out. I always want to help out. I'm always trying to help somebody out because my mom always tried to help me out. It's something to give to other people because I know a lot of people have it.
Menstruation is an extremely confusing experience. The stigma around open discussion and unequal access to resources only complicates the situation. 1 in 5 girls in the US will miss school because of their period. The consequences are significant, impacting young people's education and isolating them from their communities. The girls at Sayre are working to build solidarity around their periods, opening the door to conversation and distributing supplies to those who need them. Simply put, they're creating their own support systems to address the inequalities they grew up with.
Hi. I'm Kobe. I'm a junior at William Sayre High School. I forgot the name of the school for a second. I love to hang out with my friends. I was just talking about them before this started. I love my friends. When I first got my period, I think I was I got it early. I was 10, and it was at home. I was so lucky it was at home. And then I was freaking out because I didn't know what was going on. I had to depend on myself and depend on my older sister and my older brother, and those were my sources, and they didn't know anything. You watched the movie Madagascar? You know how the 4 penguins just kind of waddle around? Yeah, like Happy Feet. I know most people resort to pads as their first thing. In my opinion, I just can't do it. It's something about them that it was so uncomfortable for me. I was just genuinely wanted to sync up and die. I was a 10-year-old child. I just wanted to feel comfortable. So every period after that, I stayed home in my bed rotting, because I didn't feel comfortable like going outside in a pad, and nobody understood that. Yeah. When you don't have I didn't even know about the cups until today when Miss Fatima was talking about it, but I wish I would have known about that, and I feel like it should be taught more. When I was a kid growing up, I really only knew about pads, and that's because only people in my family who like even said anything about tampons was my mom. I was like 10, so from there to like ninth grade year, every month I stay home. Once, 4 days out of every month I would not be there. Also, there would be times where I would just be like simply forced to be there in a pad, and I would just sit there uncomfortable, not doing anything, because that's all I could focus on is like me not being comfortable.
There's not a single solution to manage one's period. Between pads, tampons, period cups, and a variety of other options, preferences vary from person to person. The assumption of a one-size-fits-all solution actually only exacerbates existing inequalities around accessibility. Improper products can not only be debilitating to one's sense of self, it can also be life-threatening, with an abundance of period product-related illnesses such as toxic shock syndrome. Accessibility comes down to giving kids the autonomy to manage their cycle and understand their personal needs, establishing comfort and confidence in their bodies.
No local store basically sells anything that I would need. Like, I tried hitting up my corner store, they didn't have anything. I tried going to like other stores around the area, basically no one had nothing. And it was like something I genuinely needed.
At the Poppy store, the hygiene products are probably like $6-7 for like 3 tampons, and I don't even use tampons. They don't have pads at my corner store. For a lot of young uterus users like me, we have a hard time getting hygiene products.
I do think it's political at one point, because I feel like the tax of it, and it's just stuff like that. Like, when you really think about it, the fact that we have to get like an easy pad or easy tampon at the bathroom, it's like 25 to 75 cents now. It's now, I think it's like 75 cents to $1 now, which is honestly absurd. So I feel like it's definitely political on some parts. It's not even personal at this point. Like, I feel like it evolved over the time. Like, it went from personal to political over the time. But we had to figure out a project, and I thought this was a great project to kind of do, because of the fact that hygiene products are expensive, but especially feminine hygiene products. And it's just like, why do we have to pay so much for stuff that like we don't even want to have, honestly, in the first place? So I thought it was great to do this hygiene drive.
We did put like the feminine hygiene products in the bathrooms, and that did not go well for public school students. It was horrific. So we put little boxes in each stall, and we were responsible for cleaning everything up and making sure everything was going smoothly as SGA members. So a few weeks after it started, we went to go check in on it, and it was terrible. People would take the pads out of the little packages and stick them on the walls, color it with like, we could tell that there was like people throwing things at each other. And there wasn't much left in the hygiene products. Like, most of what was already in there was on the floor. So we assumed not many people took it and actually used it for its proper use. So we just took them away. And I'm glad this is starting back up. We have a second chance to get it right.
This year, these young students have come up with a new and improved iteration of their hygiene drive from last year. Their goal is to make little goodie bags out of the products they've collected via donations and hand them over to the uterus users in their community. The excess will be stored at the Sayre Health Center and with school administrators so that those who want them can ask and receive as and when the need arises.
Honestly, all of it is so much fun. I mean, you get to know them really well. I've been in this school for 4 years now, so you get to know the teachers, you get to know the staff, you see kids between the different school years as they grow up and then sadly graduate, which is good, but it is sad to see them go. You guys are great to talk to, and you guys are hilarious.
For these students at Sayre, their work all began with a conversation about their bodies and experiences, a conversation about the space they occupied at their school and how they could leverage their ideas to impact their community. Over the duration of a semester, these conversations have grown into a community. The students are still in the process of building out the goodie bags and distributing them to their school. They won't just be passing out feminine hygiene products, but also general ones, such as deodorant and toothbrushes. Their hope is to create a culture of solidarity and support in caring for one's body. This year, Donna and Ayana will be graduating, heading off to college. Ariana, the current facilitator of the High School Voter Project, will be leaving Philadelphia to start a job in the financial sector. Tatiana and Kobe are excited to continue the work they've begun this year, bringing tangible change to their little pocket of Philadelphia.